Thank you, everybody, for coming to the Aaron Torres Podcast YouTube page. If you could do me a quick favor, see that little subscribe button at the bottom of your screen? Go ahead, click that subscribe button. Really does help our channel grow, our audience grow, and I really do appreciate it more than you know. So click that subscribe button. Appreciate your support. Now, here's the video that you came here for. Gonzaga, Kentucky. Gonzaga is at Kentucky, 4 p.m. Eastern, Saturday, CBS. First of all, for people who are kind of scratching their heads, yes, we do have a late season out of conference matchup. Now, if you're my age or older, if you're in your mid 30s or later, you remember, like, we used to have top 25, or we used to have really good marquee out of conference matchups all the time late in the season. I remember being a UConn fan, and I remember UConn played at Kansas in like the end of January, and it was a huge deal. This was in 95, 94, something like that, kind of the early years that I remember watching college hoops. But you go back even to before I started becoming a fan. You know, Jerry Tarkanian's UNLV Rebels would always play 2 or 3 marquee out-of-conference games late in the year. Duke would always play marquee out-of-conference games late in the year. Kansas, UConn, as I said. So we have this. I don't know exactly why it was scheduled late. My hunch is, I think, if I remember correctly, John Calipari basically said, I have a young team. I don't think he explicitly said it, but basically, I have a young team. You know, we don't want to front load the schedule. This will be a good mid-February or, mid-SEC schedule test. I think for Gonzaga, the hope was, hey, we have a marquee game later in the year to get us ready for March. Well, you look at this game, forget getting ready for March. Gonzaga's got to get to March first. They got to win this game. And so when you look at this game, it's actually a very important game for both teams. Listen, we've talked a ton about Kentucky. They got the very nice win over Vanderbilt a couple days ago. Took care of business against Vandy, get the win, all of that good stuff. But now you got to come back. That was a game that you had to win. You had to look good. No excuses, whatever. Well, now you come back and you got to play Gonzaga. And this is kind of an important game. Kentucky, I guess this is a big thing on Kentucky social media. They fell to a 6 seed in Joe Lunardi's bracket since the last time they played. So they were a 5 seed. They beat Vandy. Then Joe Lunardi puts out his new bracket and they're a 6 seed. So listen. You took care of Vandy. You did what you had to do. You got to keep it going against Gonzaga. And then you look at Gonzaga's resume. It's kind of insane. Gonzaga does not have a quad 1 win all year. For people who don't know what quad 1 is, those are the most important wins, the NCAA tournament resume, that you use for the NCAA tournament resume. Gonzaga does not have a signature win all year. Best wins, bad Syracuse team, bad UCLA team, bad USC team. They just lost to St. Mary's, the best team in their conference, on last Saturday. You have got to get the victory here. Now, in terms of this game, a couple things. One, from the Gonzaga side of things, listen, them not having a signature win is not a fluke. I've been telling you since April? I said this program's going in the wrong direction. Ever since Tommy Lloyd, who's now coach at Arizona, left for the head coaching job at Arizona, that was after Gonzaga made the title game in 2021, they haven't had the same level of talent. Now, the first year, Chet Holmgren committed like a week after the season. You're fine. Last year, even, they really weren't that good, but Drew Timme covered up a lot of stuff. This year, you just look at them. Nothing really stands out. Ryan Nembhard, 3-4-year college player. He's good. He's not great. Nolan Hickman, 3-4-year college player. He's good, but he's not great. Graham Ike, big guy down low. He's good, but he's not great. They just don't have the dudes that they used to have. They don't have the depth that they used to have. I thought it was interesting. This is the worst 3-point shooting team of the Mark Few era. Now, Kentucky fans will tell you everybody gets hot at Rupp Arena, so you don't have to worry about that. But this Gonzaga team, I just don't think is to the level of previous Gonzaga teams. And I also think that's why Kentucky has to win this game. This doesn't look like a bad loss on the resume. But it would be, it's more important that you don't lose than you win, if that makes sense, because you smoked Vanderbilt. You got Ole Miss coming to town next week, who's playing really well. And this is just one you got to have. Kentucky looked really good. I think what'll be interesting about this game, we're recording on Thursday night. There may be some new information that comes out at some point, but at the same time, like, until we hear otherwise, I still think getting DJ Wagner back is important. Reed Sheppard has been playing so many minutes at the point guard. He looked obviously really good the other night. Rob Dillingham is unbelievable. I do think you probably do want DJ Wagner back in this game. Antonio Reeves was awesome against Vanderbilt. But listen, Antonio Reeves played 31 minutes. Reed Sheppard played 36 minutes in that game. and Rob Dillingham played 30. So first of all, credit to Cal for playing the hot hands, the guys that you needed to. But at the same time, I do think that from the Kentucky perspective, you want DJ Wagner back, try to get him healthy, try to get ready for this game, and try to go on a run, because you are, as we record here, sitting at 16-6 overall, 5-4 in the SEC. You're 2 games back in the loss column. This is a game that you need to win. And by the way, unlike Auburn, the schedule does not get easier for Kentucky. 3 of the next 4 in the SEC: Ole Miss at home, at Auburn, Alabama. So 2 wins that you absolutely want to get.